Because I do feel like even when you say growing up in a black household, you feel like you have to be responsible. You have to be in your masculine energy and whatnot. And I think sometimes they disregard the fact that was the case or is the case. And it's something for us that we want to feel safe in a dynamic that we could unlearn that. So we could be in our feminine whatever or just feel secure.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's not a matter of what energy I'm in. It's a matter of feeling secure. So I could feel that I'm in something where I can trust it or I can feel like loved.
So what going on, guys?
So what?
It's me. Hey, no, we have to do the.
Ooh, what accent are we doing this time? Hello, mate. It's Jojo Renee.
What's that?
Australia?
Yeah, it is.
Nah, man. Don't do me like it was bad. It was bad. No. Insert cringe here. Okay, what are we doing?
I don't know.
I know an accent, and sometimes I feel like if I do
because
specific
I don't want
accents,
to do something that might come across as discrimination.
Exactly.
So then we should
I
just
wanted
abort
to
mission.
do an accent, and I was like, let me not do
Let's
it.
just abort mission.
Yeah.
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just abort mission.
Abort.
Yeah?
Fully.
Okay.
Maybe we could do an alien.
There's something going on in the universe where everything
It's
is
connected.
connecting. I don't know that the world's gonna end, but it's
Nah,
really
girl.
coming
It mean I just
really-
start.
You know what I've been having, which is so weird? Like, I have students that graduate, right?
Yeah.
So I had a dinner, I was in the gym. I thought I saw that student. I was like, oh, it's not him.
Yeah.
You know, I bust the corner and he was there.
But he graduate.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I saw someone that looked like him and I didn't think of him in like 2 years. I bust the corner and he was there. So I left the room where he was and he was there. I was like, hey, mevrouw, catch up.
Crazy.
Then 3 days later, I get on the tram, literally by the market. I thought I saw her, another student that graduated 2 years ago. It wasn't her. I
Turn the
get on the
corner.
tram, no. 2 hours later, she get on the tram. Hey, mevrouw. I was like,
That's crazy. I have that a lot when I think of somebody who I haven't spoken to in a minute and then they
and then you
message or
see
call
them.
me.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I high-key would think on somebody that's like, yo, I haven't heard from this person in a minute. Boom, that day I get a message from them. That happened to me so many times. It's not even normal. But anyways, guys, welcome to episode 58 of Bite to Bullet podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if you missed us, but we have definitely missed you.
We haven't been here because
Guys, I just reached from Ghana today to Bandar, and it was amazeballs. You know what's funny? Every time I'm in Ghana, people ask me, "Are you Ghanaian?" I'm like, no, but some part of me must be, because this place
yeah, you never
always
do
calling
that.
me. No, I
You
need to.
should do
Everybody's telling me to. We should make an episode after that.
It's
We
really
did
funny
say we
because
was
before
gonna do
this
that episode.
before this episode started today, I was literally wondering, I wonder if Jody ever did a DNA test.
I'm going to.
'Cause
I'm
you-
100% going to. And you know you're going to see Ghanaian. Because why that place love me and why I love that place so much. But guys, you know what it is? This trip was different. Like, this is the fourth time I went. And I think because I went solo, it hit completely different. And the fact that I went on business too, I just felt so good because I manifested that. The first time I went to Ghana, I wrote about that. And now it's like, okay, I get to experience that. But this was my trip. So I go out. There was one night where my friends was dropping me home. I was like, guys, you realize this is the first time I go home and the moon is still up? We always go home and the sun is up. We go to this place called 8020 and we go get some burgers and we just, live life. And then I wake up 4 hours later or 5, I go to a cafe and I do work. That was my routine.
Every
Like,
day.
Almost every day. I went out. Let me think how many outfits I wore. So I was there for 2 weeks. I probably went out like 9 times.
Damn.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed every single night. There was one night I had serious FOMO because I went to the Composers because they had a show at this place called Pink Flamingo, but I was feeling sick. So I went home early and I saw all of the videos and I was pissed.
Oh, you didn't go to the...
So I was there, but I left early. Like I left around like 12. They came on like 12:30. And I wished I could have been there, but I was sick. So in my head, it's like, I had rather be home.
Composers.
Yeah.
Legit.
But yeah, yo, I'm back in his house. I literally leave in 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
Which that's also a thing that I was overwhelmed about.
When this come out, you done gone.
Because now I have to unpack, repack. I got 2 Vinted orders that I need to deliver. Yeah, so I'm quite busy.
Me and Christian was like, we don't know how you're doing it because I wouldn't be able to do it.
Best believe I doing it. I don't know how I'm here right now. I haven't slept. Like I fell asleep today for like 30 minutes on the hammock. But then I realized I gotta get ready to come to the studio.
Yeah.
So and my cat started licking my finger. Oh, my cats. I miss them so much.
Oh, yeah.
All my days I came home and they were standing by the door and they were just watching me like, you dumb
Like
bitch, you left us.
they smell you.
Yeah, but cats is different than dogs. Cats just watch you like, so now you're gonna just come back? Like you ain't just leave us for a good 2 weeks. But
By the way, it makes sense, Hadie. Jody's a Sagittarius.
what?
What I got?
They're travelers. They be all over the world.
Heavy.
They be everywhere except their own country.
Shut up, man.
Okay.
I go and say, bro, in 3 weeks. Don't do me that. But it's true though. It's true. And I will always be that. Sorry. I'm a child of the world. I will forever be. That's my goal in life, to just be in the... What else I going to do? Stay.
I feel like you're the only Sagittarius I know like that. I feel like all the other ones grounded in where they... Like,
I don't know what ground is.
which others? I could tell you once now that they probably didn't leave the country in a minute.
My mother's a Saggy, so that's another example. Like, she travels everywhere. One of my friends is a Saggy. Yeah, she travels a lot.
Joe's a Saggy. He travels everywhere.
All the Saggys I know, and the funny thing is, every horoscope says Saggys are adventurous and unorthodox.
Yeah.
Like, my horoscope told me I can't be in a traditional relationship because of how I view the world. What? Yeah.
But adventurous cause would be just where you from. So like Maya just adventurous at home, for example. But she don't go out
I hear it.
much.
How you
Or
doing?
whatever. I don't know. This time I really don't know. I feel like
Let's talk about it.
okay.
You want pillow?
No, I ain't gonna cry. But like the past 2 weeks, I technically been alone for 2 weeks. Cause we wasn't recording. I wasn't at work. Like usually that's my rhythm. And also my friends would just be with not in the country. So it was a lot of like aloneness.
Well, you could have called me.
That
was in the
part.
studio last
you could have a sauna
But I
day.
have this thing where it's like, but we could get into that later because
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about FOMO. I have this thing where it's like I just use this moment though to like recoup, but I just bring a lot of like thinking and being in deep thoughts and analyzing
facing
myself
stuff.
and facing stuff and journaling. So it's like not necessarily like it's a bad thing,
I hear it.
but it is just give you a lot to think about
Yeah.
and like evoke emotions. But also, which is something we talked about last week, I think I was in my luteal phase, which is just wasn't a good combination either. So,
Freak.
but we was talking about last week with like, we had a photo shoot in the studio and like this girl was talking about birth control and she was talking about like the effects of it and da. But and she was just like, and what about you? And I said, yeah, I come off a good couple of years ago, but I also don't know how I would have been. Like I started when I was young, like 18, 19, and then I stopped when I was mid-adult, like 25.
You saw changes?
I feel like I used to be really depressed when I was on birth control.
Like a whole different person.
Yeah, but then I was like, I could have had that naturally without it. I don't know.
Nah, I don't think
Because I don't
so.
know how.
Birth control, I think birth control didn't ruin my life, but birth control heavily influenced a big chunk of my life in such a negative way. And I didn't realize it until I stopped it. Because I was on birth control since I was 15. No, I was not active.
No, but people take birth control for other reasons.
Yeah, no, my period was so bad that I used to faint. They would have, like, whenever I would get it, they would call my mother to pick me up. They had a time my mother drove me around the island at 4 a.m. and I slept in the car because I was scared if I moved, the cramps going to come back. Because they did, like, I was in a certain position. They wasn't there.
Some people just have it really bad.
Exact. So that's why I took birth control from that young, but I stopped when I was like 20, maybe just 20 flat.
Yeah, we telling each other business. So I was gonna ask, what's the difference with like what you have now?
My implant?
Yeah.
So
But
guys, I have an
know.
implant. The implant has estrogen.
Okay.
Birth control, you want to feel it? If you,
Yeah.
Come.
Give me. Okay, I can feel it. I can feel
Yeah.
it.
By the way, guys, I got a BBL bicep. I will tell the people in my business. We talk about this on Patreon, but I had an implant before, but I got lost in my bicep, and they said it's easier to just leave it in than take it out. So I got plastic in my bicep, BBL bicep. But anyways, the implant has estrogen, so it has one of the least hormones, like the IUD, all of that stuff. They all have hormones in it. And when you just put estrogen into your body, it doesn't affect your hormones as much as, say, birth control. So with this, I don't feel a big difference. Don't get me wrong. When it first got inserted and my body was adjusting to it, I was crashing out. I wanted to peel off my skin.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. However, I feel like the circumstances around me too kind of contributed to that. But with birth control, I know that it was so hard for me to manage my anxiety, my reaction to things, my anger. Like, negative emotions were easier to tap into. And I realized when I got off of it, I felt lighter from a place of being able to not be consumed by my negative emotions.
Yeah.
And I do think it's birth control that affect that.
To me, it was just sadness. I was more, back then I was able to go back into my sadness. But now that I off it, I don't know if it's because of age. I just tell them, like, I've been feeling the phases in like big time. Just, I don't know.
Like, what phases?
You know the 4 phases in your,
luteal,
cycle, luteal, yeah.
Follicular.
Like, I just feel those.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't feel, like, I feel the follicular. No, I feel them. Yeah. Because you have the ovulation phase, which is best because you just boom in, which is so cool because your body does that so you can mate.
Yeah.
They say you become more symmetrical and shit. Like, your face actually, you become more attractive to the male species and you let off more pheromones. But what comes after that? So you have the ovulation.
I don't know the thing out my head. We should Google.
By the way, men, understand these phases so you can understand your woman. Like, if you have a woman, follow her flow app if she have a flow app. Then you know what to kind of expect to a level. Because I do feel like in my follicular phase, I think that's the spring phase. You're more open to do new stuff, or like you want to explore things, or you want to start something new.
Okay,
and I realize that really applies.
But you were saying the follicular.
Follicular
is like, you have high energy.
Yeah.
That's when I like the best.
Exactly. And then the luteal is before you get your period, right?
Yeah.
That's
because
hell.
the last 2 weeks.
That's
right
worse than my period.
Yes.
Literally, I just want to. That's when you cry or you act out, and then you get your period after a while, and you realize that's why.
But I know, but I'm so in tune with my body now. I was like, because I catch up on all the TV I needed to catch up on.
Yeah.
But I watched Queenie, and if you know, it's like a British show, and like, oh my god, like it was so much things that like trigger stuff in me.
Yeah.
Once I just crying. I was like,
she coming?
I was like, no, this is my luteal phase.
Yup.
But as I said, like it was partly linked to that too now. But yeah, they're good.
That was a really long explanation of how you doing. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, that was a nice little, what
That
you call it?
happens.
Lesson of gluteal follicular. Why do I say gluteal? Like
I
me in
don't
the
know.
gym.
You talking about
Luteal.
biceps?
Yes. I'm sorry. But yeah.
Song of the week.
Song of the week. My brain is starting to crash, guys. My song is Be There Still by Davido. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if y'all heard his new album. That's such a banger.
That is a banger.
And the beginning, what do you do? Didn't.
I love that song.
And they were just renting it in Ghana. I'm not gonna lie. One thing about Ghana that I will always miss is the nightlife. When you go out, you just hearing bangers.
I still been seeing TikToks that people like it's not the same.
Okay. So with those, you know what it is? They talking about the whole bottle and table culture.
Yeah.
I can't speak on it because the people I know have the bottles and the tables. We come in through the back door of the club. Like that, I think that's also why I love Ghana so much. I must say to people, I'm well connected just from a place of like, I think the first time I went there, I was lucky to be in the same rooms with certain people. So I can understand where people coming from, because if I was not on a table or had that whole, it wouldn't be as fun, because the clubs are set up in a way that it is better to be at a table. I find if you on the dance floor, it's not that bad, but it's not that great because that's more foot traffic. That's not really a place to just groove, but it depends on which club you go to. Like my favorite club in Ghana is Ace, but that's the club that you go to until 10 a.m. That club don't close. And I think with that club, they have multiple sections. So they have like, let's say a frame of sections and multiple tables, and then you have in the middle, they have a stage, and then they have like a table on the tables on the side, and everybody always has a table. But it kind of gets jam packed, and sometimes you kind of see people on the floor self, but it don't look like.
But what's the vibe
place.
by the table?
Crazy,
Like people enjoying themselves.
People enjoying themselves. Like we was on a table next to the composers. They was just going crazy, and then I met these girls. Side note: I went to Ghana for Easter, so. Ghana is lit in Easter. It's insane. Everybody comes to Ghana for Easter. There's people who was following me from like Toronto. They were coming to Ghana also, but it's like soft December. So if you don't want to go to Ghana for December, which I don't care to do because I find it's just too busy, go for Easter. Easter is the second best thing.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole of the UK was there. Like coming back, a lot of people had to be put on different flights because they overbooked all the flights. Going there on KLM, there was a bunch of UK people on my flight. Like, it's insane for Easter, and the vibe is immaculate. I ain't gonna lie. I met a lot of people there. But, yeah, so, girls. They had the man them too, but I was with the man them.
Yeah.
So, people wouldn't really talk to me because they was thinking, but I'm gang over there, which I love, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I finally am with a group of guys, and, like, none of them... Yo.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, so, yeah, with a whole vibe, it really depends on which club you go to. Because you have some clubs like front back. You don't need a table for that club, I find. It's very open. And then you have like crooner. With crooner, you need a table. You don't necessarily need a table, but it's best to have one.
I get that.
But I do understand where people say the bottle and table culture is kind of killing it because it's either you connected or you're not going to have the best night in a sense. But for the rest, I'm not going to lie, the DJs playing more dancehall. Clubbing can't be touched in Ghana. That's the only thing I'm going to say. I haven't been out the way I've been out in Ghana. Not even in SM.
Yeah,
Don't
but I
come
don't
for
like
me.
going. I don't like going out in SM. I don't know when last time I went to SM. 2021.
Oh, yeah. Nah, but we had fun.
That was literally the last time I went to.
Yeah.
And I've been in 2023 3 times.
That's crazy.
And I didn't go. My song of the week
Yeah.
is, and the funny thing is I've been listening to him, but I was just like, I don't know why I put Big X the plug. He's a new, I love this man. And he just got me to my gym session, the largest. But then I see that Beyonce play is like her intro song to her new tour is his song. And I was just like, people really been putting on to him, and I'm so proud of him. So
I go check him out.
Big X the plug, the largest. But I love his whole album in general.
Oh. Wait, you had a Would You Rather?
No.
Mando, you ain't got no Would You Rather. By the way, guys, we got Mando in the studio. I gonna
Mando
put you
is
on blast
back in the
because
studio.
take it all
Back to
the
the
way back. Mando came to visit us in the studio, guys. This is nostalgia heavy.
Yeah.
And I love that we got a couch. Cause you saw the other studio? No, though. No, because you was only meant to see this one. It's fine. But yeah. But okay, we ain't got no Would You Rather.
We don't have
but
much random.
I actually was keeping up with the news a little bit. We all know Trump tariffs, all that fun stuff. But I ain't gonna lie, that whole trend on TikTok that was going on with China had me dying. I don't know if y'all saw it, but basically because Trump put all these tariffs and making China pay a bunch of money or whatever, and raising prices, China factories decided, oh, you gonna play that? We gonna Uno reverse. They came out with the receipts. Let me give you an example. A Birkin bag, say the regular, $38,000 retail. They broke down every single material that goes into that. The most expensive was the leather. They tallied it up, and it came up to $1,450 to produce, whereas you buying it for $38,000.
That's insane.
Insane. And they did that. Everybody was getting it. Perfumes, skincare, everybody was getting it. And I can't lie, that's so beautiful.
Mind you, the episode where we talked about consumerism came out literally days before that went
That
viral.
whole thing that come out, right? Yeah.
But I think that's lit. They said you gonna go low, we gonna go lower, and I think that was a beautiful low.
But that's the whole funny thing with like that whole China and American like what you would call that squabble. Like China they're not backing down, you know.
And I think they shouldn't.
But guys, this gonna be the book throughout the rest. of the season.
Yo.
But like the book I read.
Or the geography book.
But you realize that like America, it does meddle in everything.
Yeah, but even if you look at like the history of proxy wars and everything, like they use other countries to fight their stupid battles and feed their stupid egos
and do what they
build
want.
their stupid pride.
Exactly.
And it's insane because you just out here making people do your dirty work while you just going deeper in debt to buy weapons and all that. Oh, I mean, I said on the YouTube. But yeah, I think it's retarded, but I think China's doing great.
But China is just like, we not here
But
for
that's
y'all
the thing.
stupidness. But at the same time, like, I ain't saying like a big Chinese fan, but not
No,
that.
big up China.
No,
All
I
you
mean,
is
like-
a superpower and all you best own that shit. Sorry.
I mean, I'm not, yes. But I mean, like, I do feel like they I can't pronounce that word.
Colonize?
Colonizing in a very different way. They're
In what
doing
sense?
it, like, what's going on in, like, the Caribbean, Jamaica, Nigeria, like, they're buying a lot of land.
I ain't gonna lie, but it's a lot of them.
Yeah, but they owning land in places that not theirs. So, like, it's a big problem right now in Nigeria that the Chinese owning a lot of land and eventually going to end up taking over the place. Jamaica had that issue.
Yeah.
So it's like they're a power player, but they're doing it very differently than the white counterparts been doing it.
Yeah.
But they're very smart in how they're doing it. So it's like
Oh.
they're smart is what I'm trying to say.
Ah.
But a lot of people complaining, like if you live in certain countries that the Chinese own everything. And for example, they tried that in St. Maarten, but I think the people was protesting, but they still had buy something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, no, I just mean more in the sense of like them being able to produce all the things that they produce. With that, I didn't.
No, because you was
I'm not very
like, big up
versed in
the
that.
Chinese. I was like, yes.
I mean, in that sense,
yeah. But I mean, like,
I hear you.
like I realize that they're smarter than we think. Not we, but like the world is
I
realizing that what they're
mean,
doing.
man's got 10G now.
Who?
China. They just launched their whole 10G thing where you could download a movie in
Oh,
seconds.
yeah.
Like, I feel like not only are they smart, but they have crazy resources that we probably don't even know about. Like
For sure.
the black net is probably full of stuff from China. But yeah, no, that whole the put on blast thing, I think a lot of the girlies who was about the DH gate lifestyle and getting dupes was coming out saying, I told y'all so. Like, it's the same factories that are producing the same thing.
That's true.
It's just one of them you buying from a LouisVuitton.com or Print FR, and this one you just getting from Huang Ching.
But that's why a lot of them checking, like, just send me the links to these websites, and then like the whole internet coming together to give each other these links so they could get everything done. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So in case you don't know
Wait,
where
we left
exactly, in case you don't know why this weird cut happened, go check it on Patreon.
That part.
Oh, okay, we're gonna leave it on Patreon. Okay, cool.
So what, you gonna fit it in the vlog?
Yeah.
No, just leave it. But yeah.
No, we were talking about the whole, like, you know, DH gate and them exposing and da-da-da. I don't know if it was going to leave in what you just see. Because I was also
No,
posting
well,
stuff, but-
No, that was the explanation of why you
it'll be a bonus. It'll be a bonus clip on Patreon. If you want to
Right.
check into it, just go there.
But we could catch up on this part. So for you, would you buy a dupe knowing that?
I wasn't buying the expensive luxury shit.
That part.
So it's like, I guess I've been buying the dupes.
Or you just been buying
As in,
normal
like, if
shit?
all these things basically come from the same factories and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
a lot of our clothes just have made in China.
True.
I mean, we've been buying the dupes and the same material from the same places. It's just we haven't been paying those kind of monies for
That's
it.
fixed.
And I've been, I think I tell all you that I've been on the perfume dupe game because,
Or like the Zara equivalent to.
what do you mean?
So they would show you what. So the different perfumes in Zara, they will show you what is it equivalent to on the luxury side.
Oh, yeah. But also,
like
like,
that.
big up normal perfumes. It's just dupes for a bunch of these luxury
Okay.
perfumes. And when I tell you they last all day same way,
Yeah.
all day same way. So it's like, I don't know. I would definitely buy the dupes. I think, but that's a question like people just always ask, like, when you get rich, would you buy expensive shit? I think I would never.
I would, depending on what I buying it for. There's some expensive shit that I understand the expense. So like watches, I understand the expense of a watch. But also certain expensive things, I understand that there's more quality and it will probably last me longer. So like real denim, it don't have to be 2,000 euros. However, there's certain price tags that I could justify.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I could justify certain bags, like say from Chanel or whatever, and be like, okay, I'm gonna spend 3K on that. For me, that don't make sense because I could get Stradivarius bag that probably gonna last the same time. Probably not because Stradivarius is big. I mean, quick.
Yeah.
But you know, so I would being in a place where I have money and I know I'm able to spend it in places that I prioritize that mean something to me, if I have also that ability to spend it on things that like just give me quality, I would do it.
I was gonna say that, but in areas that like really matter to me. So like food, like I would probably go to more expensive restaurants, travel more, like electronics, experiences. I think I would buy more of what I just currently buy, but not necessarily like these expensive brands. I don't know, because once again too, like I don't like the designer stuff all the time. Certain brands. So like for example, like there's certain brands like Kai Collective, Hanifa. Those
Exactly. I wouldn't go for bait brands like Louis or Gucci and Versace.
Those ain't even close to the prices of like, to me it would be like supporting the community in a way and like sustainable stuff. And those brands is like, to me, like they're not high end in that way, whereas like a lot of people rocking it or the rich wearing it. But I do feel like for Black people it's like cool to see that we taking up space in that way. So like Hanifa, there's so many like dresses from her that I would love to buy. But as I was telling Kristen that like, maybe I should start doing it. Because when I do hauls, I would spend like $400 easy on clothes.
Yeah.
But you could get like technically 2-3 Hanifa dresses for that. But
That
then it's
makes
like,
sense.
then I'd just be like, but just to get 2-3 dresses for $400, I'd be like, ugh. But like those are things I would easier do easily.
Yeah.
When I get the money.
And
But
you know you're getting quality when you do that.
yeah, but I wouldn't go and do that for like a Gucci or
Yeah, but that's the difference. I feel like there's wealth and there's rich. With wealth, I feel like you don't always know what brand they're wearing because it's probably just a good brand that is high end, but it's not a loud high end brand. I find Gucci, Louis, Versace, all of them is loud high end brands that to me become tacky to some point. And with that, it's like, yeah, I noticed like a lot of wealthy people, I don't touch their clothes, but sometimes you could tell they wear quality, and it's also quite simple. It's not something that's screaming I'm rich, but it's also those cases of like, for me, the dresses part, yeah. Look at Opali. Opali is not high end or anything, but it's more expensive. But I could tell you every single dress I bought from Opali has been quality. Like I feel the fabric and you don't get that see-through bullshit or anything like that. So that's why I would like invest in Sefmar.
I get that. But there's a whole lot of conversation of like where Black people are spending money anyways.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other conversation. But I had to this
I want to say that's also another form of colonization, yeah?
What?
How people spend their money. Because then you're spending money into things when you could be growing. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on.
I see this TikTok where this girl was like, well, let me tell you who in the thing in China though, them costume makers. Like us Korean people been making our costumes and give them their credit. I was like, that's so funny. Because like I don't know how it was this year because St. Maarten just had the Carnival.
Yeah.
But usually sometimes it just be a little difficult because sometimes the costume just come from different islands.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, the fact that if you look at these costumes that people just be making this by hands, like I'd just be like round of applause because
Heavy.
the beauty of these costumes. Just the fact that you put thought into this and make this with your hands, for it to come out looking like this, and then just be looking at these beautiful bodies, just beautiful. But Carnival was there recently,
I know.
and I
Oh
don't
shit,
know.
I was there
Oh,
for the last 2 days. It was great, guys. It was so great.
yeah, yeah.
For the last
How
2
was
days. Phenomenal. You know what I did? All I did was eat. I went to every single booth and I tasted every single meal. And I enjoyed every single bit of it. Licked my fingers clean. Yeah, life was great.
Yeah. I don't know. Are you just get FOMO
Heavy.
for Carnival?
No, not fully. Like, I think I passed that because I missed it so many times. Like, I think my best year of Carnival was 2014. And I think that's the year they had Damian Marley for reggae night and stuff like that. And that flag man was going crazy. But yeah, and to be honest, I haven't experienced St. Maarten Carnival since then.
I haven't gone to Carnival. I haven't been back to St. Maarten in that time since I moved here 12 years ago. So
I feel you reach a point where it's like you missed it so, and I hate that I missed St. Maarten Carnival so like so many years I could have gone but I didn't go. But at the same time, I think I missed it so much that it didn't seem so bad anymore.
But when if you used to miss it, what you used to miss exactly?
If I used to miss it,
Like when
the
you used to
vibes,
miss it. Okay.
the shows, especially I used to miss Reggae Night. Like I love Reggae Night and Night of the Hitmakers. Like and Juve. I love Juve. And Parade. Like for me, I've always wanted to be in a parade at SM because all your costumes is lit and the food.
Yeah, for me,
The main thing is the food. Yeah, like I know when I come in SM for Carnival, I eating and I eating good.
Side note, I don't mean to plug, but like I'm really loving the stuff,
shots.
the mocktails from Glenecia, actually, from the Nourish Hook, because I think it's a very interesting twist on not getting drunk
That part.
at Carnival, which is a different swing. But anyway,
And now I go put
really
on a
love seeing
whole
that.
other thing and say I love that boot. I think boot 7 that does do them 3 shots and it's like sour sweet gone. They just consistently posting videos of like 1 to the head, and I find it so funny because you just see people, you know, like, hey, look at you. Like I feel present.
Yeah, that's one thing that
I really haven't been on social media. I only went back this week because I know my friends was gonna be in a parade.
Yeah,
But what I really love is how like the creative economy in general and the creators on St. Maarten have just gotten to the point where they really, really
I could
sell
see
it.
it.
They
Big
just
up
really.
Raul.
I do that.
Raul,
All the
he's
creators.
been doing his
Oh my
thing.
God, Rahul, Tracy.
like I see his videos, even the one with the baby crying. That was so clever. I was like, this is what you call content creation, heavy. But also seeing people do reviews for the booths.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Before going, I'm looking for a place to eat, and I want to know what is what, where I could get a macaroni cone thing. And on TikTok, you have people actually like doing these videos, and I think it helps for people who come in because now we know, okay, where to go, what to do. And you don't know how like useful that is for your booth. Because that whole 3-shot thing, now that everybody's seeing it, they want to join the challenge.
But I think people need to realize the value in it though. Because I think that was his thing recently, that people not really seeing the value in the content creators and them posting these videos. Because it's like they're doing it, but I don't know if people valuing it as much as well. When I mean people, I mean the people that should be paying them for it.
Yeah.
Because the watchers and the people that are being influenced, we're being influenced. But I mean, then you have to pay people for the
But I don't think St. Maarten or even the Caribbean itself has caught up to how much attention is currency. I don't think they realize
They
the value
do,
in
but they
that.
just don't give it to their own people. Because that goes back to the conversation I was having the other day, where they pay a bunch of these foreigners to come to the island to make content. Meanwhile, you have people on your own island that can make better and more actually like, how you call that, informed content because they're from there. And it's just like, they rather put their money back in the pockets of people that aren't even from there.
Yeah,
so to me, it's like they know it.
Yeah, and also just in general, you have like the whole, if you're trying to attract like a Caribbean tourist audience, they want authentic experiences.
100%.
Yeah.
So how is a foreigner going to understand what's lit?
That's true.
If you're there for a week or two versus somebody that was born and raised there and they know exactly what's the lit, and it's not just a one-time experience, you know?
Yeah. No, what I speak on, especially for me dealing with people from the Caribbean, just in work, they don't put a value as high as we see values, especially being in the Western world. Like I feel like we get paid more for what we do here, and I feel like in the Caribbean they're still stuck in not realizing that value, at least from my experience, because I do feel like that's also the case. But then we look at the other side of the coin where it's like they think a poster or a flyer going to take me 10 minutes to make, and then they go offer me a little $50. That's not how it works. Because it's just a case of like, I'm creating something that communicates your message, allows people to recognize who you are, and brings you traffic that makes you more than 10 times more than what you're giving me.
Yeah.
So then that's where you just don't see my value. And that's what I mean, where it's like, I don't feel like they see the currency of attention when somebody just posts a video. Because you think my video could maybe get 500 views, you get 5 customers. No. Raul video probably getting like 20K views, and you get a good 100 customers maybe in a day, and that's making you go up. So it's just a case of like, I feel like some companies overlook that because they think the customers just coming. They're not just coming.
Like, pay your creators, man.
Pay them.
Pay your creators.
Get it
Punch.
together.
The only thing I would say is that, of course, you can't expect them to pay the same prices we get up here, but at the same time, like, pay them enough to be able to like be valued.
That part.
Pay them enough to invest in their craft.
But yeah, I don't know if back to the FOMO thing. Also because I've been back twice versus being up here for 12 years. So I don't get necessarily FOMO for specific events or parade, but I just get FOMO for like my people. Because it's like that's a time of the year where it's like everybody on vibes, everybody seeing each other every night, every day. And it's like the experience of just being around your people and what Carnival is about to me. So it's like that's where the FOMO is for me, but just home, period. Because I feel like you experience home in 2 weeks on our next level.
100%.
So it's like that's where I don't know. That's what I just miss. Because it's like, I don't know, you could go back for summer 5-6 weeks. And that still ain't gonna be the equivalent of what you could get for Carnival in 2 weeks.
Exactly. Because
it's just a different level. And every year I'd be like, I'm not gonna miss next year, but then I'll just be like, yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. And I feel like the last 2 times I went was really amazing, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna see.
What's that thing you was mentioning?
Wait, what?
That was said recently?
Oh, but yeah. So we were talking about like the value of our island and what they got going on. I don't know if I forget what party he for.
FAD.
Yeah.
Forum for Democracy.
Meneer, I don't even want to give him time
Meneer
and space.
Theirry Baudet.
Theirry Baudet of whatever. But he mentioned saber tuna. It's not just St. Martin.
What he mentioned?
Because he was basically trying to, but I don't even want to paraphrase. I need all you to hear his words, exactly what he said. But
I think we should clip that and put our right here in the video in case all you didn't see, just to put on blast how ignorant it was.
Oh, I didn't watch the video.
You didn't watch the video? It was ridiculous.
How long is it?
Like 2 minutes or something?
So we going to clip the video, but she don't know what it is, so I should just read it. Okay. He literally was saying, but it sounds so stupid and uneducated. Okay, he was like, St. Martin is an area of 88 kilometers, which is twice as large as Dubai. Only 43,000 people live there. He was like, if 300, 400, or 500 Dutch people go there, it is also completely ours. So his plan and idea is basically to send a bunch of Dutch people there to kind of colonize it, so it could become better and more Dutch. And he openly embraces the conspiracy theories that, but everybody know him as being white and like racist. So this ain't even wild, but it's just the fact that he went on a mic and said this, and he was like, what he really missed is a big vision for the Netherlands. We used to have much more land in the world. All of Indonesia and South Africa were ours. Great. The Netherlands was really an empire. About the last bit we have, we are only groaning, he said. And then he went on to propose that the Dutch Caribbean should be turned into like a special economic zone where they could have like a low tax rate and basically be like a hub for like people that retire and stuff to go live there. And we're going to get into why this is so problematic just now. And just have the island serve as a hub for them. And then he went on to say that they should send all asylum seekers to Sabre.
Crazy.
Direct to Sabre, who are waiting processing. And just and call for Dutch companies to extract oil and other natural resources from Venezuela and Suriname. And then he said we used to be such a boss everywhere, but we started helping people.
This one I don't know history.
And then he said, but what did that bring us? And he said, but the government is pursuing anti-white policies. And yeah.
I feel like people like this, you just gotta act like they don't exist.
Yeah, but you know what's even funnier? In the video, there's a black lady sitting right next to him, and you could just see her face every time he says something. She like,
that's insane. Everybody just need to continue a normal conversation as if he never said. Like, you just act like this person is not there, because how you actually fix up your mouth.
But then it's crazy. The wildest be wild to me is that a lot of these people like still being elected into parliament. So I find that so scary.
I mean, who's the president of America?
Yeah, but I mean, like in Dutch, like in the world we live in, the fact that like there's people that support these ideologies and vote these people into parliament and what they have to say, and it's so scary to me because it's just like, that mean, are you really just still view us like nothing changed since slavery, nothing changed since colonial times, that y'all just, well, specifically people that support him and him, that y'all just see us as this land out here to serve y'all.
Yeah.
And we don't exist. The people that have their whole life running, like everything we have going on that island, just irrelevant because there's nothing worth.
But it's like, at least for me, I think one common thing I experience with the Dutch is entitlement. I think that's the forefront of who they are at least a lot of people I encounter. Entitlement is subconsciously ingrained in them to the point where they say shit where you like, did you really just say that? And I think that's what just carries into these conversations where people, of course, gonna believe this because they feel like they're entitled to the Caribbean, and they feel like they're entitled to these resources that they don't have, that they colonized before in ways that were insane. And
White
for them,
people.
it's like, let me just bring it back. Why not?
Basically,
I mean,
he
we
basically
did it
say
before,
like, let's bring
do it
it,
again.
let's bring back colonial time.
insane.
That is so insane to me. But I don't know why. But to me, it's just white people in general. Back to the how America is and whatever and Trump. Like, I just find this man wild. Are you to the word term homegrown? He was saying like homegrown prisoners he was sent to, was it Venezuela or El Salvador?
What's homegrown prisoners like? They born in the prison?
Calling them homegrown. Like what?
You born in a prison? Like
No, homegrown as in they born and raised in America. They was homegrown in America. But he was trying, I can't remember which country it is because they sent back a bunch of the people from there. And he was like, but they catch him saying, who's next? Like, I guess a lot of the prisoners that's homegrown. So even if they're American, you checking like we're going to send them to.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with the whites is a reoccurring conversation, but for them, they see themselves as superior and they will continue to do things to reaffirm that, even though they have evidence that that's not the case. They will continue to pile contradicting evidence on top of it to make sure they remind themselves that it is the case. It's the lulu for them, in a sense. So for me, it's like with these conversations, that's why in my head, I'm like, I wish we was in a world where people actually understood that this was bullshit and would act like these people don't exist. So they know that they're talking to themselves and they're talking out to their ass.
That everybody, because...
Exactly. But that's unfortunately not the case.
I was going to say, like, that's what I was saying, like, being here, though. I just wonder, like, even, like, in my workspace or something, when I randomly on the train, like, what people are really thinking of me or, like, I don't know, like, something that just be on my mind. But that's why I just sometimes feel so uncomfortable around
I found out
white
something.
people.
So I went to Ghana, right? And one of the friends she went to eat with somebody I know. And she was telling me that the person was telling her a story about how her friends lost her sunscreen. And two of her friends are melanated. And she told her, she was like, yeah, they lost my sunscreen and they don't even need it. And it's like, she was like, that minor thing that she said a lot about how she views things. And it's like those micro things you have in white people who you think sometimes you could think a white person is your ally just from a place of they're educated, they hold themselves accountable, whatnot. And then it's like, they say these wild shits that's like, okay, are you though?
Which takes me to interracial dating.
Yeah.
Such a fucking segue.
I mean, shit. Let's go.
I mean, I really expressed how I felt on episode 2.
You did.
I wouldn't word it that way again anymore. But like, I don't want to offend people. But like, so back to the whole, is it cheesecake?
The cheesecake trend.
Oh yeah, the cheesecake trend. Because Delfano Huff, what his name is? Delfano?
Yeah.
Huff
Yeah.
wine.
He
Some
was
wine.
doing the COVID
Roll
videos.
the wine, with the wine.
Yeah.
Huff wine. Because I think a lot of if it's Dutch scene, the Dutch scene, they're making it so much to the point that they like running away from dark skinned women.
Yeah.
So he was just like, if are you gonna make these videos, just stop. Like, he was like, be tired. He said, my black women tired. So just stop. And I love the video that he made. But to me, there's a whole conversation going on right now with interracial dating, especially in America, of course. But like, I think recently it was Paul Pierce, so he was like, they asked him on a podcast, like, why you think black men just date white women? He was just like, because they hold themselves accountable. I need to find it. He was like, they hold themselves accountable more. And they just, basically, like, they're easier to deal with or something like that. And then to me, it's like, that's why this conversation is like, you could have a preference, but when your preference is linked bringing down the other one, is when I'm just like, is it a preference or is it self-hatred? And that's why a lot of the times when certain men say what their preference is, we just always side eye it because we don't know what the deeper, if it's a deeper thing behind it, if it's really just a preference.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just find it weird. And then they would be like, yeah, but you don't say this anything when black women dating white women, because they're doing it for different reasons. It's not because of self-hatred.
That part.
You know, they could actually maybe I have a preference, or that's really the only people that actually love them. That was having that conversation on the Joe Budden podcast. Quinta, You know, Quinta, the woman who make Abbott Elementary, because her husband, she and her husband getting divorced. And they was trying to say, like, you see, that's what you get for marrying a white man, da, da, da. And then the other man on the podcast telling them, but, like, she openly talk about how, like, when she was struggling and da, 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 black men wasn't checking for her. And now that she become Quinta,
Yeah.
da, 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 oh, now they're checking for her and da, 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 da. And now are you saying she's probably your preference or whatever? And then he literally asked them, like, would y'all go for, like, a Whoopi Goldberg? And then just the answer already was given, like, they would never, da, 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 or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say I ain't asked enough black men to know why they would date white women, but like
That part, like, I feel like we should have like maybe 2 black men on this couch just to. Yeah, guys.
no. But I mean, like, the ones. No, never mind. I know when there's people that have preferences, and I know when it's like linked to deeper things.
I mean, I can speak on like, well, no, but that's my sister is a girl dating a white man, and that's different reasons. I gonna ask her if I could leave this in, but she feels like with white guys, they're more open-minded, not from a place of in general life, but like
I know
in a lot of areas.
I know.
So for her, it's like I wouldn't say it's easier, but she feels like it aligns with her more. Whereas when like she was dealing with black men, for instance, there were different obstacles, but in every area you have your obstacles. With her, it's just what she focuses on, what she prioritizes, is what she kind of finds in her.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's like it depends on the person though, because you could have somebody that was a really old school, old thinking ways and just stick to their ways. But there's black men that are open minded. But I feel like some of us raise up a bit rigid.
But that's the thing. I feel like having like us being raised in different states is something that I think should be taken into account when these men talk about their preferences, because they talk about it from a place of like they didn't contribute to a level of how we are in a sense. Because I do feel like even when you say growing up in a black household, you feel like you have to be responsible. You have to be in your masculine energy and whatnot. And I think sometimes they disregard the fact that that was the case or is the case. And it's something for us that we want to feel safe in a dynamic that we could unlearn that so we could be in our feminine whatever or just feel secure.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's not a matter of what energy I'm in. It's a matter of feeling secure. So I could feel that I'm in something where I can trust it or I can feel like loved in it.
But I also want you to understand why I'm that way.
100%.
Because it's like, we could define what masculine is, but to me, like saying that, because I know some people that they would say like when they say white women easier, I feel like that's just because you happy with them letting you coast.
Yeah,
And
you don't want change.
You don't want to change, and you don't want to. You yourself, they're saying that, which is so funny because it's like if Paul Pierce saying that like they just have to hold themselves accountable. But to me, a lot of the black men that get with white women is because they themselves don't want to be held accountable for a lot of the things that they're doing. So you get with somebody that not going to easily ruffle any feathers. And like black women, I don't know if you want to call that masculine, but if us just holding you accountable or speaking up and wanting the best for both of us is you seeing it as us starting issues or being too aggressive or whatever, like then there's a deeper issue. I don't know. Then to me, it's like you're not allowing me to just be myself. Like it's not necessarily even a thing of just masculine or just holding you accountable, period. It's just something I should be allowed to do because I love you. 100%. And that's how black people should, like, that's just how we are with each other. So it's the fact that you don't want that says a lot.
A lot. I hear it. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I love y'all. I love the listeners.
And who else you love?
I love the people who like, comment, and subscribe.
No, you also love your mother.
Yes. I love my mom.
This coming out a couple days before Mother's Day, so we're gonna keep this short.
See.
Right? Just short. Facts.
But yes, we love y'all. Y'all know we pre-films. I have a flight to catch, so I'm out. So bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.